Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm actually on my way out the door tomorrow morning, heading out on a family trip, but before I could leave, I had to share this info with you about Josh Duggar's upcoming sentencing. If you guys don't know, I have been obsessed with getting to the sentencing and hearing what Josh's friends and family have to say about this case. I'm expecting at least some of them to get up and speak or read a letter about what a great guy Josh is and how much he's needed at home. As of right now, his sentencing is still scheduled for April 5th, but I don't think that will last for very long. If you didn't catch my last video, I'll let you know that Josh's attorneys asked for an extension of at least a month before the sentencing started. Of course, they put this out on Friday, so the judge probably won't look at it until Monday, and we'll get some feedback later in the week. But my nosy butt can't wait that long, so I called up my good friend who is a lawyer and used to work at the U.S. Sentencing Commission and asked him a bunch of questions about this case. He already knows that I'm obsessed, and I'm going to share some of the info he gave me right now. Also, stick around at the end if you want to see the cutest videos of my little foster runt who is doing so much better now. Okay, so first, of course, I asked my friend, do you think they will actually postpone Josh's sentencing? And sadly, my friend reported back, they are likely to extend at the request of the defense at least once, but unlikely to extend repeatedly, so that's good news. If Josh's attorneys are stating that COVID restrictions are limiting their access to him, this most definitely must be taken into consideration. There are definitely extenuating circumstances involving COVID right now. A lot of these issues are presenting themselves all across courtrooms across the United States and in prisons. They're getting backed up due to COVID, and this is a legitimate concern. So, of course, I was like, but Josh is doing this because he's a big prison baby fussy pants. My friend responded that the judge is unlikely to take my sentencing into consideration in court. Okay, so here are some of the responses from my viewers on my video about Josh's sentencing getting extended. Okay, so regarding Josh Duggar possibly getting his sentencing pushed back a month, we have a bunch of viewers who've responded, and Christine says, "This is ridiculous. What a big baby. He's finally being held accountable for his behavior. I really hope they proceed with sentencing. This has gone on long enough." Christine, I feel completely the same way. I don't know if you heard or not, but my whiteboard was all set up with the date as April 5th, completely outlined in pink letters, and this has completely turned my whole calendar around. So I'm there with you. Obviously, I'm kidding, but I am quite frustrated by it. April 5th was perfect timing for me. But at least he's sitting in jail. I do think this might have a little bit more with wanting to stay in Arkansas than actually needing more time with his lawyer. Okay, and then we have Aunt B expressing, "Hey Josh, get a grip on your wrongdoing. None of us wanted you to be in this awful, creepy situation. Admit your wrongdoings and take every step they allow you to take." Okay, Aunt B. I agree. I mean, a little bit more than wrongdoings. This guy, I am really the kind of person who wants to think thoughtfully about what happened to Josh, and I try to think thoughtfully about the other Duggar children and be positive about them, as positive as I can be, given what I know about the situation. But Josh is just one that I cannot make any more excuses for. He has had so much forgiveness and support and therapy and all kinds of things over and over again. Even if it wasn't the right kind of therapy, support, whatever, he still made all these terrible choices, and the people who are paying the cost are really his wife and his children, and it's pretty terrible. Okay, and here we have Anna M, and she is asking, "I wonder, is he doing himself any favors by fighting for all these delays? I feel like he's asking for a longer sentence via this behavior." And I did ask my friend, the lawyer, about this, and he said no, it's not. Requesting this kind of extension wouldn't really be taken into account when it comes to sentencing. It kind of sounds like he has potentially a good reason to ask for it, even though it may not apply to him. But he's saying like COVID is an issue, it's holding my lawyers back from getting in. The judge isn't necessarily going to look at it as stalling. It's most likely potentially going to be seen as a good reason to postpone the sentencing if needed. Now, I'm still hoping, maybe, my friend could definitely be wrong, but I don't think it's going to affect his sentencing at all. Okay, and here we have South Bug, and he or she responds, he has postponed the court proceedings every single step of the way. This just shows how little respect he has for the court and that he still isn't the least bit sorry for his crimes. Yeah, I agree. I'm wondering so much what he's going to say at the sentencing. Is he going to admit that he committed these crimes and he needs to be sorry for it? Because that's something that a lot of lawyers will say about sentencing, that it's not a time to plead your case and say you're not guilty. It's a time to accept responsibility and show the judge that you're accepting that responsibility. If Josh isn't willing to do that, then how is he going to be able to handle himself at the sentencing? Okay, here comes Susie being a little bit snarky here. Josh, Daddy, I don't want to go to prison. You always fixed everything for me. Why can't you fix this? I won't be able to talk to my wife, Anna, all day long. This place is noisy, and they don't have tater tot casserole. Help me get out of this mess again. Agreed, Susie. I don't really know what's going on behind the closed doors of Josh's prison cell, but I do think he's hoping and praying that his dad, his lawyers, someone can pull some strings to kind of get him out of this mess and at least get the smallest sentence possible. I wonder if he's hoping for like a couple years or so. It'd be interesting to know what's running through his head. And guys, this was my favorite comment of the bunch. Doreen always leaves really cool comments, and Doreen said, it's taking Jim Bob longer to tunnel the escape route under the jail than Jim Bob expected. I love that. It's like they needed the extra month just to break him out and get him back to the Duggar compound. Love that one, Doreen. Thank you. Okay guys, so thank you for your comments. You can leave some more under this video. I read all of the comments, and I really enjoy hearing when people agree with me or disagree with me and going down some rabbit holes that you guys send me on. So then I went back to my friend about the sentencing guidelines, and he had some really interesting yet also boring things to say. Basically, he was like, the judge needs to tread lightly and follow the sentencing guidelines carefully. It is not likely he will be swayed in one way or another by Josh's celebrity. I've heard some people are reporting that because he's a celebrity, he'll get like a really harsh sentence. But my friend was like, that doesn't really make any sense. If the judge were to give him a significantly higher or lower sentence than others who perform the same acts, this would be an issue that could rightfully be brought up on appeal. It's not about the judge's personal feelings. He must stay steadfastly with the sentencing guidelines. I've told you guys before, looking at the guidelines, it looks more like Josh is about to get 8 to 10 years. Though I've read that most people serve 100% of their federal term, they also are released likely like a year early to an outside facility to help them transition home. My friend also said that one issue often faced by the courts is that some judges feel the strict federal guidelines for sentencing in CP are unfair because many criminals in state courts who have actually SM'd a child will get a lighter sentence than those found with CP in federal court. This has led to many federal judges erring on the side of a lighter sentence. My friend also made it clear that it's important for Josh's closest friends and loved ones to show up in court to either read their letter or speak out loud to the judge. It can make a significant impact on the judge's decision. Lastly, I asked my friend about Josh needing to own up to his guilt for the sentencing. And I was a little bit surprised that when he went over it with me, he said, a person like Josh may not want to admit guilt during sentencing if they want to continue to fight hard on appeal. If you admit guilt during your sentencing, yes, you can get a lower sentencing. It can reduce the algorithm that they go by in order to decide how many years you get. But then you have less of a case or no case when you go to appeal. And it does look like Josh and his family are very interested in appealing this case. Okay, friends, so that's it for this weekend. I'm heading out on my vacation with my family. Please make sure that nothing crazy happens in Arkansas while I'm gone. I hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend, and I'll see you in a few days. And now, our kitten palate cleanser.